हेलो दोस्तों, वेलकम टू द साइनिंग ब्रेन। एनसीईआरटी क्लास 7 की सीरीज को आगे बढ़ाते हुए आज हम चैप्टर नंबर 16 क्लास 7 को पढ़ेंगे। चैप्टर का नाम है वाटर, अ प्रीशियस रिसोर्स। जल है तो कल है। इफ़ यू हैव वाटर यू कैन थिंक ऑफ द फ्यूचर। You are perhaps aware that 22nd March is celebrated as the World Water Day. A school celebrated Water Day and invited posters from the children of your age group. Some of the posters presented on that day are shown in figure 16.1. Figure 16.1, College of Posters. What is the message you get from these posters? Write your observation in your notebook and discuss them in the class. Have you ever felt a shortage of water at home or at school? Your parents or teachers must very often we advised you not to waste water. No wonder we celebrate Water Day every year to attract the attention of everybody towards the importance of conserving water. The amount of water recommended by the United Nations for drinking, washing, cooking, and maintaining proper hygiene is a minimum of 50 liters per person per day. This amount is about 2.5 buckets of water per person per day. Is your family getting at least this much of water? If yes, you should consider yourself fortunate because millions of people in our country do not get enough water. What about your friends and their families? Share your experiences with them. In some places, there is an acute shortage of water, taps running dry, long queue of water, figure 16.2, fights, marches, and protests for demand of water have become a common sight, especially during summers. Some of the newspaper clippings shown in figure 16.3 clearly indicate this message. Is it not true that we face acute shortage of water? Figure 16.2, long queue of water. Activity 16.1, collect clipping from newspaper and magazines on the news items, articles and pictures related to water shortage. Paste them in your scrapbook and share it with your friends. List some problems faced by the peoples and discuss them in the class. Water shortage has become a matter of concern throughout the world. It is estimated that in a few years from now, more than one third of the people in the world could face water scarcity. Here figure 16.3 shows the newspaper clipping. Year 2003 was observed as the International Year of Fresh Water to make people aware of this dwindling natural resource. Before we discuss why water is getting scarce, we must know how much water is available for use on our planet. 16.1, how much water is available? Look at the picture of the earth taken from space. Why does it appear blue? Surely you can guess. You are aware that about 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. Almost all the water on the Earth is contained in the seas and oceans, rivers, lakes, ice caps, as underground and in the atmosphere. However, most of this water is not fit for human consumption directly. The water that is fit for use is fresh water. Perform the following activity to estimate roughly the relative amount of water available in some of these sources. Activity 16.2. Most of us assume water to be a limitless resource. From this activity, can you appreciate the actual amount of water available for human use? Does the finding worry you? Discuss this in your class. Here, in this activity, a step, figure, and remarks are shown. Take a medium sized bucket and fill it up with water. It contains about 20 liters of water. Remarks: assume that this water represents all water present on the earth. Take a teaspoon of about 5 milliliter capacity and transfer 100 spoons water from a bucket to a small container like a bath mug. This represents total fresh water on the earth. From the bath mug, transfer 30 spoon of water to a glass tumbler. This gives a measure of usable water present as groundwater. Finally, take out a quarter spoonful of water from the mug. It represents all the water present in all the lakes and rivers of the world. The water left in the bucket represents the saline water present in the seas, ocean, and partly as underground. This water is not fit for human use. The water left in the bath mug represents the water which is present in the frozen form in glaciers, ice caps, and permanent snow. Again, not available readily. Bozo wondered about the alarming a small quantity of water available for our use. Paheli quickly calculated and found that this amount is roughly 0.006% of all water found on the earth. 16.2 Forms of water. Are you afraid that continuous use will someday exhaust all water available for use? You know that water on the earth has been maintained for millions of years by various processes which make the water cycle. You have studied the water cycle in class 6. Write in your own word what you know about the water cycle. You know that when water circulates through the water cycle, it can be found in all the three forms, solid, liquid, and gas. At any given time, somewhere on the earth, the solid form, snow and ice, is present as ice cap at the poles of the earth, snow covered mountains, and glaciers. Liquid water is present in oceans, lakes, rivers, and even undergrounds. The gaseous form is the water vapor present in the air around us. The continuous cycling of water among its three forms keeps the total amount of water on the earth constant even when the whole world is using it. Does it give you any relief? Can you recall processes involved in water cycle? The following activity will help you. Activity 16.3. Figure 16.5 shows the processes involved in the water cycle. They are labeled by the numbers. Match these numbers with the process given in the jumbled form. Most towns and cities have water supplies system maintained by the civic bodies. The water is drawn from nearby lake, rivers, ponds, or wells. Here figure 16.5 shows the water cycle in which number 1 Rugen Robert. 2 This is the jumble word. You have to arrange this word from 1 to 7. Now, the water is drawn from nearby lake, rivers, ponds, or wells. The water is supplied through a network of pipes. Many villages do not have such a water supply system. Their people fetch water directly from the sources. Often, people and even children have to walk several kilometers to fetch water. Figure 16.6. The children suffer a lot. They cannot attend school regularly since they spend hours in fetching water. Figure 16.6 Women fetching waters. Women have to perform a number of household chores. If they have also to spend time to fetch water, it adds to their burden. A large number of people draw water from wells, tube wells, or hand pumps. From where do these sources get water? 16.3 Groundwater as an important source of water. If we dig a hole in the ground near a water bodies, we may find that the soil is moist. The moisture in the soil indicates the presence of water underground. If we dig deeper and deeper, we would reach a level where all the space between particles of the soil and the gap between rocks are filled with water. The upper level of the layer is called the water table. The water table varies from place to place and it may change at a given place. The water table may be at the depth of less than a meter or maybe several meters below the ground. The water found below the water table is called groundwater. Water is the source of this groundwater. The rainwater and water from other sources, such as rivers and ponds, seep through the soil and fill the empty space and crack deep below the ground. The process of seeping of water into ground is called infiltration. The groundwater thus get recharged by this process. At places, the groundwater is stored between layers of hard rock below the water table. This is known as aquifer. Water in the aquifer can be usually pumped out with the help of tube wells or hand pumps. Have you ever been to a site where construction work is going on? From where do the worker get water for the construction? Figure 16.3, groundwater and water table. Maybe you have seen boring being done at such site to reach the water table. Inquire from the people working there how deep they have to dig. Can we keep on drawing water from under the ground? How will it affect the water table? 16.4, depletion of water table. Water drawn from under the ground gets restored by seepage of rainwater. The water table does not get affected as long as we draw as much water as is replenished by natural processes. However, water table may go down if the water is not sufficiently replenished. This may happen due to many reasons. Increase in population, industrial and agricultural activity are some common factors affecting water table. Scantily rainfall is another factor that may deplete the water table. Yet another factor affecting water table could be deforestation and decreases in the effective area for seepage of water. Increasing population. Increasing population creates demand for construction of houses, shops, offices, roads, and pavement. This decreases the open areas like parks and playgrounds. This in turn decreases the seepage of rainwater into the ground. What could be the consequences? Recall that a pakka floor does not allow water to seep in easily, while in a grass lawn water seeps through in no time. Moreover, a huge amount of water is required for construction work. Often, groundwater is used for this purpose. So, on the one hand, we are consuming more groundwater, and on the other, we are allowing lesser water to seep into the ground. This results in the depletion of water table. In fact, the water table in some parts of many cities has gone down to alarming low level. Increasing industries. Water is used by all the industries. Almost everything that we use needs water somewhere in its production process. The number of industries is increasing continuously. Water used by most of the industries is drawn from the ground. Activity 16.4. Name some industries familiar to you. Make a list of the products obtained from this and used in our daily life. Discuss with your teacher and parents how the growing industrial activity is responsible for the depletion of water table. Agricultural activity. A majority of farmers in India depends upon rain for irrigating their crops. Irrigation systems such as canal are there only a few places. Even this system may suffer from lack of water due to erratic rainfall. Therefore, farmers have to use groundwater for irrigation. Population pressure on agriculture forces increasing use of groundwater day by day. This results in depletion of water table. 16.5. Distribution of water. The distribution of water over the globe is quite uneven due to a number of factors. Some places have good amount of rain and are water rich. On the other hand, there are desert which have a scanty rainfall. India is a vast country and the rainfall is not the same everywhere. Some regions have excessive rain while some others have very little rainfall. Excessive rain causes floods whereas the absence of rain results in droughts. Therefore, some regions in our country may have floods while others may suffer from drought at the same time. Activity 16.5. Given here is a rainfall map of India, figure 16.8. It gives the average annual rainfall in different regions of our country. Located on the map the place you live in. Are you blessed with sufficient rainfall? Is there sufficient water available in your area throughout the year? It may be possible that we are living in an area where there is sufficient rainfall, yet there is shortage of water. Can we attribute this to mismanagement of water resources? 16.6. Water management. You have read in class 6 that in many places a regular supply of water is provided by a well-planned pipe system. In figure 16.8, rain map of India, you can see the rainfall in centimeter. If you want to take the screenshot, then you can. Now, when the civic authorities supply water through pipes, not all of it may reach the destination. You might have seen water supplies pipe leaking and a lot of water gushing out of the pipes. It is the responsibility of the civic authority to prevent such a wastage of precious water. Mismanagement or wastage may take place at the level of individual also. All of us knowingly or unknowingly waste water while brushing teeth, shaving, bathing, washing and during many other activities. Leaking taps is another source of huge water wastage. We waste water as though we do not need water the next time. We have seen that most of the water that we get as rainfall just flow away. There is a waste of precious natural resources. The rainwater can be used to recharge the groundwater. This is referred as water harvesting or rainwater harvesting, about which you have learned in class 6. Find out if the building in your neighborhood have a water harvesting system installed. We have at many places in India and is old practice of water shortage, storage and water recharge like the bodies. Body was the traditional way of collecting water. With time, the body fell into disuse and garbage started piling in this reservoir. However, because of the acute water shortage, people in this area have had to rethink. The bodies are being revived. Today, the situation is that in spite of a scanty rain, these places are managing their water needs well. A farmer using water in the field can also use water economically. Maybe you have heard of drip irrigation. Drip irrigation is a technique of watering plant by making use of narrow tubing which deliver water directly at the base of the plant. A case study. Bhojpur in the Kutch area of Gujarat has a very erratic rainfall. The only source of fresh water lies underground because rivers in this area do not have water throughout the year. Over the years, demands for water has grown. The withdrawal of groundwater has far exceeded recharge. As a result, the water table has gone down alarmingly. In 1989, the villagers, along with a non-government organization, decided to harvest rainwater. 18 check dams were built on Rukmavati River and its many tributaries. The water, so-called, increased percolation through the soil and recharged the aquifer. According to farmers, the well have water now and the water that flowed into the sea and was wasted has become available for irrigation. 16.9 drip irrigation in a field. 16.7 what role you can play. Have you ever shown concern if you saw a tap leaking in your house, school, or any other place? Leaking tap wastes a lot of water. You must take effort to stop the leakage. There are a number of ways you can adopt to minimize the wastage of water. Let us begin. We have given a few examples add on. Water wise habits. 1. Turn off the taps while brushing. 2. Mop the floor instead of washing. 16.8 Effect of water scarcity on plants. You must have seen plotted plants wilting and ultimately drying up if they did not get water even for a few days. You have already learned in chapter 1 that plants need water to get nutrients from the soil to prepare their food. Just imagine the consequences if water is not available to plants. The green character of the planet shall be lost. The green character of the planet shall be lost. This may means the end of all life, for a world without plants shall mean no food, no oxygen, not enough rain, and innumerable other problems. A successful initiative. Rajasthan is a hot and dry place. The challenge of natural scarcity of water was made a successful experiment. A band of social workers has transferred a dry area in the Alwar district into a green place. They have revived 5 dried up rivers: Arveri, Ruparel, Sarsa, Vagani, and Jahazwali by constructing water harvesting structure. हमारा जल हमारा जीवन. Keyword: aquifer, groundwater, water harvesting, depletion, infiltration, water table, drip irrigation, recharge. So friends, this is the end of the chapter. नेक्स्ट वीडियो में हम अगले चैप्टर को पढ़ेंगे. तब तक के लिए धन्यवाद.